always complete, always enough. Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced that right is wrong. When I speak, you say you're listening. When will you ever hear me? Love is love, always is, always was, will always be just love, always complete, always enough. Love is love, always is, always was, will always be just love, always complete, always enough. Love is love.
So look, when you go back to the history of this stuff, this tells you a lot of stuff right here, you know. Some of this stuff might explain the story of Helen. Some of this stuff might explain other stuff to you, you know. But it's good to dig into this stuff, right? So I want to go to some particular things. You guys know me, I'm not afraid to pick up a book. So the theory of the invisible dome project. So this is what it would look like. And you've seen this in different movies like Interstellar. I think the most recent movie that came out with the guy, he went up there and all of these satellites was in different positions. This is what gives us the projection of it. These satellites being in different positions. You've seen this in Guardian of the Galaxy, stuff like that. You've seen this stuff, you know? I'm just saying, don't be afraid to pick up a book. That's what we're saying. They put it in everything. They show us this in everything. You know, technology that we don't think exists anymore. You know, Atlantis. You know. Hey, appreciate you for subbing. Appreciate the sub. Love is love, man. Appreciate the sub. So, right here, you have these different kind of texts right here. The Dead Sea Scrolls, right? The Book of Enoch. You seen them talking about the Book of Enoch yesterday. If anybody was around for the live that we did yesterday, they talked about the Book of Enoch. You know, these are government officials that's talking about the Book of Enoch. You know what I mean? So on and so forth. The Sumerian tablets, so on and so forth, you know. Now, of course, Joe Rogan and them say they never seen a portal. They never seen, you know, any of this stuff. However you want to look at it, but it's a reason why they show us this stuff. It's a reason why they talk about this stuff. We are all practicing witchcraft. Exactly. We're conjuring with our words right here. He works harmonics, mondoons, right? These are harmonic energies, harmonic frequencies of the vessels that people are tampering with, you know, conjuring different lust demons, so on and so forth. You're pulling forth these different, you know, demons. Look at 607 Unc right now. You know, he's getting exposed for, you know, the classes that he took. He was in a school basically to practice witchcraft and so on and so forth, right? You know, they're creating a ripple in the universe with this stuff. But that's why I say, like, you know, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Go out and get you a book. Go out and learn. The Kabbalah is simple, you know, it's very simple. It's the tree of life, basically. They made a false tree of life and showed us a false tree that only has 10. The real tree has 12 to 13. But if you actually look at the chakra systems of the body, you have to apply that to the mind also. So if you apply the chakra system to the mind and the spirit the same way you apply it to the body, then you'll find more chakra systems of the mind and more chakra systems of the body. Of the spirit. So the chakra systems actually go, higher than that. These would be your trees. See that big tree right there? You know, this book is called The Dome and Outer Space Projects, year 1728, The Last Reset. This is a good book, but also the other book is this book. This is a great book. This is a great book, God, Man, the Word Made Flesh. This tells you about, how the body was made, chemically made, and how, alchemy and chemistry actually works with the body according to what was written, and how Constantine, tricked certain things and did certain things. I don't know if people recognize that right there. So this is a great book to have. I wrote down my own personal things. In my own book about constellations and stuff like that. My notes that I keep, I always go back to, because nothing beats a study than always going back. So I wrote down the chemicals and stuff that each system is missing, the sulfites that each zodiac sign is missing, right? I wrote down each thing that each person that is of a zodiac sign, what you would need, or what that is missing, what you would need. Wrote all of that down. But like I say, like, everybody can do their own little studies. I wrote and studied some of this stuff. Some of the or friends and different things like that. Studies of that. So I did my own studies, studying this stuff. And like I say, anything that's on these pages that you see, feel free to look up yourself and study it yourself. Anything that you see on these pages, you could feel free to study yourself. Ki Rasha energy, pillar of light, silver cord, the third primeval creation frequency, right? The Anuhaza is the first external spoken language in the time matrix. Different stuff like that. So this is why I say my studies go deep. Like, my studies go real deep when it comes to this stuff. I actually study, pretty, the depths of some of this stuff. I employ other people to do it. Like, that's why I say, like, it's about the collective, but it's also about unity and also putting the knowledge back out there for people. That's what we do, over here at the Atlas Network. I don't want to get nothing else misconstrued about what we do over here. I literally study this stuff, take the time to actually study this stuff, break it down, find out what families belong to what, who belong where, and everything like that, so I can learn to articulate this stuff properly. So when I do bring it to the public, it's not all jumbled up and everything. So I studied, the 88 constellations of the sky, took notes on stuff, wrote it down. There's so much stuff that I want to try to help people with when it comes to understanding this world. And, I know that their job is to stop me from getting this knowledge out there. So everybody is doing their job, properly. I took the time to study a lot of stuff, look up a lot of stuff. Here goes some more books in case anybody want to look up some more stuff, look into some stuff. This book right here, this book got a hell of a price on there. This book right here, I think this book is like, I think I seen it for like $1,000 something, but I'm pretty sure you ain't gonna find it less than $200 something. But I think it runs at like $1,000 something. But like I said, when you study it, you will find out that during the Aquarius sky, Uranus is the planet that rules. Like Capricorn, Saturn, Aquarius, you know what I mean? During the Aquarius sky, Uranus rules. During the Pisces sky, you see Neptune rule. This is where the operation of water comes in. This is where, you know, the currency comes in. This is where your social security number comes in, so on and so forth. Aries, you got Mars and Marduk. Marduk is another story, so on and so forth. So, um, So I know that they're trying to block the knowledge and stuff that I'm providing. I know that this is what they don't want me to continue focusing on. I know this is what they don't want me to continue putting out. I just feel like, you know, let me share it with you guys. There's so much knowledge around this world, and I feel like we all need to become more knowledgeable. I don't want to get caught up in their, you know, buffoonery. Uh, like I said, you can look up any of these things. You can look up any of these things. Inca, Aztecs, and the Mayans, they were later changed to the Roman Catholicism, right? So Inca, Aztecs, Mayans, when people say what happened to the Inca, Aztecs, the Mayans, history, so on and so forth, right? It was all later changed to the Catholicism. You know what I mean? So, you know, Polka Mama, whatever it is, female goddess, you know, name of God, so on and so forth. Like I said, you can look any of this up. You can look any of this up. Incas, sun god, Intel. You can look any of this stuff up. And I employ people to. Um, Now, this was from another project where we helped somebody down in Florida when they were seeding and putting stuff in the thing. We had to keep track of what we were planting and stuff, what bed had what in it. That was 2024, August, August, because we had to write the date down that we planted the stuff and everything. But like I said, I keep notes, I keep track of everything. You know how everybody got their own way of keeping track of stuff. You know, everybody got their own way of keeping track of stuff. Another good book to get, I don't know, you might find this book in a lot of different sizes. This is another good book to get. This relates the history of the world with the biblical text. This is where you can find out that there were a lot of people throughout the history that held the title that, you know, Christ had. You know, Alexander the Great had some of the titles that Christ had throughout the history. So they just like took all the names of the great people, all the things that they were saying about, you know, great people, and then they put it in one entity, if you would say. So this is why the arguments still exist about, you know, Apollonius and so on and so forth, because he was the first century Christ, right? So because he was the first century Christ, these stories right here that was mixed up with dates and times and everything like that, they became distorted. You know, a lot of this stuff became distorted in history. But it's good to just get these books and just go back and learn some of this stuff. Like, I don't know, like a lot of people ain't into learning. They want to, you know, destroy the books in the world. They don't tell you to go to the library. They don't tell you to learn. You know, I implore you to learn. I implore you to learn. This is knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom rules the air, for sure, for sure. So if you forever learning, you're forever in a knowledgeable mindset. You know? I got so many books, really. I got so many different books, really, to try to help understand, because everybody else was searching for materialistic stuff in this world. I wasn't searching for materialistic stuff. I was searching for knowledge. I was searching for ways to reach understandings with other people, right? So this is what I was searching for. And once I put the covenant together, we'll get the pages together for somebody to read some of this stuff in here, like to help people with their, signs and stuff like that. So whatever your birthday is and stuff like that, there's a numeric number for it. There's different stuff for it like that. Somebody said the 28th of June. See, I can read some of this stuff. I can go through some of this stuff. But y'all gonna have to, send some cash apps or something if I'm just gonna start reading off people's birthdays. I'm sorry. I ain't about to just sit here and read this shit. We might get somebody else in the collective to do it. Maybe somebody in the Discord wants to do it, or something like that. So definitely we can get some of this understanding out there. So you got June 28th. For example, June 28th will be Cancer, waves of the moon of the zodiac, June 21st, so on and so forth, Narag number 1. And then it tells you your possessions and desires, your gems, emerald, flower, snapdragon, so on and so forth, your color, your fragrances, your bird, symbol, crown, the universe sign of dignity. It tells you everything, lucky numbers, everything, and then it gives you a briefing, spiritual guide. So your star is Al Nether. Those with this star are treasure as friends. Angel, this angel aids. So this is why I say when people are giving you tarot readings and stuff like that, this is the stuff that they should know in order to give you these readings. This is the stuff that they should be telling you in order to give you these readings. These people are just on here telling you tarot stuff, and they don't really know tarot stuff. Real tarot card readers will tell you how to read somebody just with a regular deck of cards. You don't even have to go out and actually buy nothing. You just use a regular deck of cards, right? Real tarot card readers will tell you how this came about, like where the mystery of tarot cards came from, right? This is a regular playing deck of cards. You can understand and learn how to read tarot card readings, how to do it, how to look at the numbers, the clubs, the, spades being this, diamonds being the love line, diamonds being the money line, hearts being the love lines, so on and so forth. So you can learn this stuff yourself. You don't have to have somebody else that tells you this. You can learn this stuff yourself. This is why I say they can never trick me. People send me messages all the time saying, hey, I got a message from the universe for you. You're divine. A message from the 144, and I tell them all the time, if the universe... The universe will not have to go through somebody to get a message through you. Yes, confirmation comes through other people, but the universe will never hold a message for you for the price of $29.99. That's not how this shit works. Everybody that's manipulating this, they know what their punishment is. Everybody that's stopping people from their true spiritual journey, they know what their punishment is. They know what they got coming to them. All we got to do, Atlas family, is stay within the proper level of learning, understanding, everything like that, right? So we're going to continue to do that. And I do have, multiple decks of tarot cards. I have Egyptian tarot cards. I have angel tarot cards. I have a regular deck of cards that I use for tarot. Every tarot deck of cards, you have to, when you take them out, you mess with them, but then you put them back into a dark place. You put them back into a dark place. So what you want to do is you want to take the cards out, you want to shuffle them up and stuff like that, and just put your intentions in the cards, and then just put them away. Every now and again, just take your cards out, put your intentions in the cards, put them away. Right? Put them back into a dark place. I usually keep a bag, I usually keep a bag of stuff. Always keep you a bag. This world is showing you that it's full of demonic entities and demonic entities. You can go into Walmart and walk out with somebody else's negative energy. So you got to be careful. You know, these people will approach you, you know, while you out on the street. They'll approach you. It's almost like when you go out, it's like they were waiting for you to show yourself. You know, it's like they were waiting, you know, just in case anybody got a little bit of hood in them. Get you a set of dice. You know what I'm saying? You know, get you a set of dice crystals. You can keep a set of dice crystals in your pocket, you know? If they not big enough and you feel like something bigger might be on you, get you a bigger set of dice crystals. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to have a small set of dice crystals, you know? If you love Oogie Boogie, get you a Oogie Boogie crystal. You know what I'm saying? Get you a Oogie Boogie crystal. You know, if you love shapes and animals, get you a shape and animal crystal. All right? But make sure you get you some crystals around you, okay? I like to stay true to, you know, certain things, but make sure you get some stuff to aid a level of protection over oneself, man. This world is actually getting a lot more complicated than what people are speaking of. They're playing different levels of mind manipulation games, but it ain't gonna work. Those who really know, they know the 144 is awakening, and they know the 144 has to do with our 12 strands of DNA and the 144 chromosomes that are inside the vessels of mankind. So as these 144 awaken, as the 144 awaken, so shall thy enemy know that you are awake. Right? So as we awake, the enemy knows that we are awakening. The enemy knows that we are gathering at this time. Right? Thy enemy knows that you are gathering at this time. Okay? Thy enemy knows. They put things in place to prepare for the time of the gathering. They know what they're looking for. They know what they're looking for before you know what you're looking for. You don't know who you're looking for. You don't know. You just got a sense of looking for something. Something inside of you is telling you that you're supposed to find something, but you don't quite know what it is. See, they know what it is. They know it's knowledge. They know that the knowledge has returned back to this world, that wisdom has returned back to this world. So they're blocking anyone who's trying to be wise, anyone who's trying to be of enlightenment. And they already got all their false lights out there. They got all their false lights out there already, you know, doing the imposter thing. So now when the true masters and the true light beings, the true star seeds come, that's why they pop up and jump on you and try to go against you. You know? So you got to be cautious in this. You got to have proper discernment. You got to have discipline over your own flesh, right? You got to have discipline over your own flesh. A lot of people don't want to support this level of knowledge, this level of wisdom, this level of understanding. A lot of people ain't going to support this. We was always bound to lose a lot of support once people realized they wasn't getting out of it what they wanted out of it, right? Once people realize, like, oh man, he's really trying to push this knowledge, wisdom, spiritual stuff, so on and so forth. And once they find out that I'm really doing this, then it's like, oh man, whatever, stay away from us, get out of here, da 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 da, right? So, I don't know what that's about, Pops, but I stay out the way. I stay out the way. A lot of people don't want to a lot of people don't want to accept that, you just one of those people. Like, you just let the universe, I let the universe pave the way for me. I let the universe tell me, how to move and how to go about this and, how to proceed with this and so on and so forth. Man will tell you anything. Man, that's why the Bible says if you put your faith in man, you know what I mean, it's going to lead you astray every time. So, When you're talking about the 1728 reset, having lost the war against the Anunnakis, the custodians uh, returned to find their most prized human colony in the state of great technical. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is basically just another reset. So when you look at, like, root races, you look at the first generation, the start and the reset, right? You see the second generation start, reset, cycle length, right? You see the third generation, right? Now when it gets down to, seventh generation, this is us, you know, seventh generation, new humanity, today's being, today's beginning, 1728 AD, current status 2024 AD, cycle of time date 296 years, right? Now look how many years these cycle. So we only just begun. We only just begun. These is 4,000s and thousands, of thousands, of thousands. It's 6,000, right? This one right here, we only just begun this, right? And then you have the different variations of resets right here. Fourth generation reset, war, external archives reset. Fifth generation. Uh, these it's always been wars of the vessel. See, you think these are wars that are taking place on this earth, and they're not. These are the body. These are the wars of the body. So, seventh generation in new humanity today. We can then infer that the average duration of overall humanity develops as 1,500 years, but vary due to disruptions, events forcing the custodians to perform earlier resets, except for the exception during the sixth generation. Each cycle has end with a violent reset with the introduction of new control measures. And we see that right now taking place with the whole Trump administration, with everything that's taking place, allegedly, supposedly. This is new measures that are being put in place, right? So this is telling you everything that's happening has happened before. There's nothing new under the sun, right? So, the Hyperboreans, all of these different stuff. everything like that, you know, the five masters, creators of humanity. This goes back to different variations of stories saying that we were birthed by the Anunnakis. The souls took on human bodies as an act of defense and resistance against the colonies who threatened to uh, penetrate and dominate the famous Terra Incognito. By incarnating in humans forms, these souls were able to utilize both their innatural spiritual abilities and human physical and mental attributes to establish a unified fort. This plan allows spiritual and earthly forces to work in tandem, thus combining physical strength with metamorphysical powers, which would be essentially to repel colonizations, uh, possession, advanced technology, and supernatural abilities. This creation resulted in being unique to all known drones. So, this is what I'm saying. Like, the unification of spirituality and the carnal is way better. It's telling you right here, physical strength and, metaphysical. So, it's telling you right there that spiritual and physical can work together in tandem. Like, you know what I mean? People chanted in times of war for battlers, you know what I mean? For people that was in battle. They chanted for this, celestial lands, terra incognita, right? These lands are described in various extra traditions and dimensions of state. I'm sorry, it's getting blurry on my screen. Unless I look at it like, I shouldn't look at it through the screen, but then I can't look at it around the phone. Let's look at it. So, it says right here, the knowledge of the five creation masters as strategically functions of souls and human bodies and sacred natures of the celestials lands, and that's why I say, like, this is the land within inside of mankind. You know what I mean? The name of this book is called The Dome and Outer Space Projects, the year 1728, The Last Reset, and that's the author, so on and so forth. But like I say, I got a bunch of books around. Like, I keep books. Like, I love looking into books. I love studying. I love reading, hardbacks, paperbacks, so on and so forth, right? What is the dome? The concept of it is this. This is the concept of the dome. But that's why I say this is a great read. This is a great read. Because technology that they use supports some of this stuff. The trickery of how, they got all these satellites that station. There's 200 something plus satellites that station over top of New York. There's 200 something plus satellites that station. Like, I'm more so to believe that there is a dome, and that explains why we always see the same stars in the sky. If we were hurling through the universe or whatever, then we should see different stars every night, because we should be facing a different direction in the universe every night. But to have fixed stars, that means the stars are inside the dome with us as we're moving. If they go out there and you don't even see the sun out there, that means the sun is probably inside the dome. The sun and the moon might be inside the dome. All of this stuff might be inside the dome. So when it comes down to it, the hum, this is the frequency that I be telling you guys about. This is why I say I don't deal with people, I deal with energies, right? This is the frequency, the harmonic, the hum, the hue that's in man, right? So on and so forth. So the phenomenon known as hum and a low and consistent sound may be associated with the operation of IDP. They associate an original origin of characteristics and the impact it could cause to the inhabitants of possible technology applications in carrying out. Hum is an audible phenomenon precise by a significant. Now, some of this stuff I probably shouldn't be talking about. That's why I skipped over a lot of stuff. But you say the isolation between 20 and 60 hertz with variations of amplitudes that seem to correlate with certain dome activities, especially linked to weather manipulation. Not all inhabitants are able to hear it, as it is suggested a very sensitive, possible related and difference in individual auditorial, physiologically. It is also added that such sound could originate from machinery, mechanical and electromagnetic vibrations generated by the dome's projection. And this is why I say, like, a lot of this stuff, hey, listen, they telling you it without telling you it. You gotta be able to. You gotta want to go get this knowledge. You gotta want to go get this, and don't mind me messing up a bunch of words. I'm kind of dyslexic. If you're a big fan of electromagnetic and vibration theories, you need to check out the orb with the orb they are showing at the Denver airport right now. Oh, okay, I'll check that out. Um, my numbers, letters. I see letters, numbers. Don't mind me. You know. Lights and other phenomena. This go back to the, Blue Project, Blue Beam Project. So tells you right here that the lights that appear in the valley, Norway, of the still unknown origin, the lights appear in diverse parts, colors, and durations are being moved quickly and remain status. They are different sizes. Their colors can vary from white, yellow, blue, even red, and can last up to 7 hours, both day and night. Could these lights have any connection to the IDP? IDP. Now, mind you, the connection to the IDP is saying that basically these are connected to us. These are the frequencies that they are pumping out, so on and so forth, right? And then when you got the rest of it over here, it tells you, Brown Mountain lights in North Carolina, Mafia lights in Texas, USA, right? Then you got Mean lights in Australia. These phenomenons is in the Australia outback, appears to floating orbs and seem to follow people or vehicles. Brown Mountain lights in North Carolina. These luminous phenomenon manifest as bright orbs in the mountains, visible day and night. Mafia lights in Texas, U.S. The lights are observed in the desert and appears as bright spheres and different colors that move erratically. These are different energy orbs. Like back in the day, they called them elementals. So these are like the elementals, These rays, also known as ball of lightning, is one of the many strange and less understood phenomena that occur in the known lands even today. These aluminum spheres that move essentially thunders puzzle scientists and observers for centuries. These light bolts are spheres of light that float and move unpredictably, can last up to several minutes and vanish without a trace, although sometimes an explosion or hissing sound is reported when they disappear. And this tells you, in the year 1638, pre-reset, where it said that it was the first documented case of the globular lightning flash. Currently in 1908, just the same year where the famous Chakras, whatever, incident happened, Russian explosion. So it's just telling you, like, everything that's happening in our history has a connection to some of these lights. Petersburg, the reset, 1728, so on and so forth. It's saying that these lights might be more connected to some stuff that's happening. Some of these lights is more connected, so on and so forth. The frequency range, 140, 160, night year, so on and so forth. But the knowledge that's coming back, man, it's amazing. Some of the knowledge that's coming back, some of the, ascendant masters that's coming back right now, you guys are going to be amazed at some of the stuff that we don't know, that we should know already. Some of the stuff that we are aware of that we're no longer aware of. Um, just imagine, like, just a theory, but just imagine everything having like a globe around it. Like, just imagine that. Like the Simpsons showed. The Simpsons showed us this, you know? The Simpsons showed us this. See? So yeah, you want to learn, let's learn about these portals. Let's learn about these underground cities, these gateways, so on and so forth, tunnels of crystals, so on and so forth. Let's learn about that stuff, you know? Let's learn about that stuff. I think that is more amazing than some of the stuff that these people are trying to, argue about or whatever. And then, like I said, this is a great book. This tells you about the trick of Constantine. Once again, like, these are the chemical sulfurs that are missing. So it says, like, here we have the last steps on the physical plane that breaks down the middle walls of Paul, right? Then the ego is enabled and regenerated by saving the word of God, the seed, and thus rendering further incarcerations unnecessary, right? So it's telling you right here, soon as we figure out the way of the seed, the power of the seed, all future incarnations are unnecessary. So when we learn the power of the seed, the power of the essence of Christ that is inside the vessel of mankind, there will be no need to go through this reincarnation process, right? To keep on sacrificing and coming down as man, right? So these are the different books and stuff. Manipulation is all over us, all around us, right? The book of Revelations of Hermes introduced this stuff. Hermes, Plato's, Aristotle, and other philosophicals. Like, this is why I look into that, because this is why they tell you one thing with the great laboratory, the four that which preserve the human body, the corruption of the lifestyles with the respect of others' elements, and we're like the heavens, from which they understood that the heavens are a substance above the four elements, and just as the heavens with respect to the other elements are held as the fifth substance, for they are indestructible, stable, and suffer no foreign mixtures. So also this one thing, this substance, this one thing, compared to the force of our body, is the indestructible essence, right? Drying up all the superfluids of our bodies, and has been philosophically called by the above mentioned names as the ether, it is either hot and dry like fire, nor cold nor moist like water, nor warm or moist like air, nor dry or cold like earth, but it is a skillful, perfect equivalation of its elements, a right commanding of natural forces, and most particularly unit of spiritual virtues, and a indisposable unity of body and soul in the purest and noblest substance of. This is talking about the secretion. Structured body which cannot be destroyed nor harmed by the elements, and produced by art with the Aristotle prepared a apple, right? This is what you said in the Bible that he ate, right? This is what the Bible, look what it says. And with this, Aristotle prepared an apple. Eve ate the apple. Right? Prepare an apple. He changed the fruit of the body, the seed. He changed it from the seed or fruit. He changed it and said apple, fruit, seed, right? Fruit, seed, right? Prolonging life by a sense when he, 15 days before his death, could neither eat nor drink on account of his old age. This spiritual essence, or one thing, was revealed from above to Adam and was greatly deserved by the Holy Father. This is also Hermes and Aristotle called the truth without lies, the most sure of all things certain, the secret to all secrets. It is the last and highest thing to be sought under the heavens. Note by authors, there is only one way under heaven, whereabout ye may save, Jesus Christ and crucified. A wondrous closing and finishing of philosophical work by the which we discover the dews of heaven and the fastness of earth, with the mouth of man cannot utter, as a found in this spirit, as Mormonis says, he who has this has all things and wants no other aid, for in it are all temporal happiness, bodily healthy, and earthly fortunes. It is the spirit of the fifth substance, a fount of all joy beneath the rays of the moon, the supporters of heaven and earth, the mover of sea and wind, the outpours of rain, upholding the strength of all things, and an excellent spirit above heavenly and other spirituals, giving. Well, basically what it says is, he who finds this find a great thing. This is the spirit of truth, which the word cannot comprehend without interpositioning of the Holy Ghost and without the intersections of these who knew it, the same as the mysterious nature's wondrous strength. And this, now, if you get this book, it will go into, Constantine and how he tricked us, but it also goes into the seed of life, flesh, right? It tells you about this seed, the seed of life, for them passing through the king's chamber, so on and so forth. The holy of holies indeed were created, immortal, so on and so forth. It will tell you, what the seed is, what they meant by the seed. Moses was represented as the seed, so on and so forth. Why we reincarnate, why they use this system. It's a good book. It's a great book. It tells you that Bethlehem, you see Beth, from Beth, a house, and Laham, bread. So it means house of bread. Bethlehem, Beth, a house, and Laham, bread. Cast thy bread upon thy waters, and it shall return to thee after many days, right? Waters are the blood and the nerve fluids of the body that carries the fish on its divine journey and regenerates, saves the redeemed man. Nazareth means to cook. So Nazarene means cook. So Jesus of Nazarene means bread that is cooked. So house of bread, Bethlehem. So Jesus going from Nazarites, being the Nazarites, going to Bethlehem means to cook. This is the secret of 13, why a baker gives you a mystery dozen. This is why they tell you, the bread boxes in your stomach, so on and so forth. A woman puts something in the oven, it is considered to be a bun in the oven, so on and so forth. So this is the story of how they came up with all of this. Nazarene means to cook. Cook means to prepare. Any materialized things is bread. Nazarene, mass, masso, and dough, thus the Catholic mass, also mason or mason. It will now be made plain why the Masons and Catholics are not in agreement for our letter N is a abbreviation of the 14th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Nun, a fish. So the letter N is a representation of the 14th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is Nun, right? So there you have the connection right there. The Catholics, right? The nuns of the church, so on and so forth. A fish. If you look into Sumerian, you will see that the Sumerian scientists that helped bring forth mankind, the scientist's name was Nun, right? That's the connection right there. Nun, the N, the Masonic N, all of that, you know. So by adding in to meso, right? By adding into meso, the riddle of the cook or prepared fish was made so plain that the priesthood strongly objected and must develop friction between the church and masonry, right? The disciples were fishermen. The earlier Christians used a fish as their secret symbol. Money to pay taxes were taken from the mouth of a fish. Bread and fish were increased into 12 baskets, full were left, etc. God prepared a fish to swallow Jonah. Jonah means dove. Dove means peace. God prepared a fish to swallow Jonah. Jonah means peace. So the fish swallowed peace. Okay. The germ descending from the gray matter of the brain. Baptism of John. See, baptism of John. The storm means sex desire. See, the storm means sex desire. The life seed was thus saved. He that is born of God cannot sin or fall short of knowledge, for his seed, fish, remains in him. John. The age of puberty is about 12. Upon to that age, a child does not understand moral responsibilities. Now, at 12 years old, this is when the seed comes into the sack of man, right? Before that, a child does not understand moral responsibilities. The firstborn means the first seed of fish, right? The firstborn means the first seed of fish. Pharaoh's sex desire always ties to, or Pharaoh's sex desire always tries to destroy the firstborn. This is the secret right here. They always try to destroy the firstborn. They always try to get you to fornicate at an early age. They always try to get you to spill your seed at an early age. The firstborn. The first seed comes into man. The first Christ comes into man, 12 to 13, right? Before we explain the baptism of Jordan and the christening and the crucifixion, etc., let us briefly explain Moses, Joseph, now pharaohs, and children of Israel. Egypt means the dark lower part of the body. See? Egypt means the dark lower part of the body. Upper Egypt, lower Egypt. Egypt means the dark lower part of the body. That part of the body below the solar plex is Egypt, or the kingdom of earth. All above the center, that's why they say anyone that is below the line. This is what makes you an earthling, is when you operate below this line, the kingdom of earth, right? All of the center constitutes the kingdom of heaven, right? The kingdom of heaven is within you. The manger, the Bethlehem, is the center or the balance. Now, Moses, Pharaoh's daughters all refer to generations. See overflow of the Nile. It raises in the mountains of the moon. Moses means drawn from the water. Fish are drawn from the water. There are two fishes in our sea. See Pisces, two fish. The book that we're reading is God Man, the Word Made Flesh. Okay? So then you have Joshua, the son of Nun. Nun in Hebrew for fish. Moses was the physical and generated fish. Moses' laws were the physical plane. Joseph means God of salvation, and salvation comes from saliva or salivation, right? Sal is salt, which saves. If the salt loses its savior, savior, whereas though shall it be salted, saliva saves the body by. This is where your sulfurs, your salt intake come in. This is why we need salt. I prepare the food. Saliva is a smear or ointment, and so Joseph compares with Christ as Moses compares with Jesus. Moses died on Mount Nebo. Nebo means understanding. Joseph took the place left vacant by the death of Moses. Jesus was baptized of, that's supposed to say baptized. Okay, Jesus was baptized of John in Jordan, the fluids of Christ, substance of the spinal cord, and became my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. The word John, Iohnes. This is the real word. John means soul, right? So Jesus was baptized by soul, right? This is the real word. J wasn't there. It was ions, right? You can look this up. Ohnes. Look it up. It means soul or fluids of the body and not the ego or spiritual man. So when the body dies and the fluid dies, the man loses his soul when he loses his body. To prevent the loss of soul and flesh is the mission of the Son or seed of God or the Son of Man. But the question will be asked, what or where is the source or origin of this seed or redeeming Son? We answered, ether, spirit or God. Ether. Ether is the return of the Son. Spirit is the return of it. This ether that's returning, this Christ consciousness that's returning. This is the redeeming Son. This ether that is returning to this plane in the Aquarius sky is the ether of the returning Son. Let's keep reading. Essence, universal intelligence, or it may be used, its brethren's is breathes into man's the breath of life. This elixir is carried through lungs into astrals and air carriers, where it unites with the organic cell salts, materialize, cooked, and forms genomes, and then deposit a flesh and bones. The study of astrology, biology, and biochemistry added to physiology will lead one into a great alchemical laboratory of the fearfully and wonderfully made human temple. The temple made with sound of saw or hammer. Before the neophytes can fully realize the power of the divine eye within his own brain, he must understand the meaning of or, essentially, especially in its related to word or Jordan, W-O-R-D. They take the W out because it's O-R-D, which means seed. So the word or Jordan. Or is gold or metal by the precious substance, the seed. Dan in Hebrew for judge. Therefore, the creative power operating through the precious substance produce judgment. The man of good judgment or wisdom. The upper brain is the reserve of this ore and is the gray matter of precise ointment or Christ. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word means, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. All things were or is created by it, etc., etc. The lost word is the symbol of the genitive animal thought animal the fruit of the tree of life, thus destroying or losing the gold or of the body. Herns means high born or the seed destined to reach the pineal gland and single eye. Tyra means a rock by the this is where Christianity comes from. Okay. By the conservatives. I don't know. You got to overlook some of the people that comes in here. And transmutation of the sex substance and pineal gland becomes firm and hard and is the fable called the rock. The wise man built his house, Beth or body, upon a rock. So here we have the examination of Hamer Abiphel. Abiphel is derived from the word Abid, which is month. However, Abid, there are some who will understand was reserved, was resurrected during the delay caused by searching for his body. In other words, a month passed and another seed was born with the candidate for initiation is Amasa. Oh, so you got 30 days to find your body? If you separate from your body, you got 30 days to find your body? Oh, that makes sense. That's why they removed the blood out the body, because they making it so you can't re-find your body after you pass. Damn, that's crazy. The upper brain furnishing all the men's constants, or is Jesus was not a savior until he was christened of John in the Jordan. Then he became the beloved son. Why was the baptism necessary? Because they are two fish. Yeah, that's crazy, right? I never thought about it like that, of why they did that, why they took the blood out, why they make sure that they, put you in the ground before excess amount of time. I never really thought about that, but it makes sense. If you got 30 days to find your body or re-enter your body, it makes sense why they go through the process that they go through, is to stop, to pretty much stop you from, re-entering your vessel. The Christ substance give the electric and magnetic power of the seed to cross the nerves at Golgotha without distinguishing or dying. To crucify means to add. See? You see that right there? It never meant to unalive. What did I say? To crucify means to add or to increase 1,000-fold, right? So when it said he crucified on Calvary, it means he increased 1,000-fold. What's the one thing that's in the vessel that has a bunch of soldiers and increased 1,000-fold? It's the seed. The seed, the sperm, increased 1,000-fold. So it says the veil and the rent, there was a earthquake and the dead came forth and the generation cells of the body were quickened and regenerated. The crucifixion or crossing of life seed gives power to vibrate the pineal gland at a rate that causes the light of the chamber to fill the whole body with light and send its vibrations out along the epic nerves to the physical eye and thus heal the blind. So through the vibrational frequency of the pineal, it could send a vibration out so strong that it can heal a blind man's eyes, so on and so forth. The number 13 is unlucky for ignorance only because all sorts of laws of nature may be reduced to 13. The origin of words and their applications vary widely. Thus, the origin of 12 is circle or completeness or without break or sin. That is complete. All operations that produce within may be called 12, being complete. In order to produce the product is therefore 13. Thus, all machines or factors, symbols 12 and produce 13. See? So this is why I say all things is 12. 12 is full circle, but to put full circle, it's still you have a product of something. So to come full circle within the 12, you still would have to produce a 13, right? That's why 12 inches make 1 foot, right? Because 12 makes 1. Right? So you got 12 juries, 1 judge. You got 12 inches, 1 foot. You got 12 disciples, 1 Christ. Right? You got 12 pantheon gods that sit on a throne, 1 Zeus. Right? So they put it in everything. There are 12 functions of the human body and body in the seed. The psychophysical germ born in the solar plex every 29 and a half days. This is where our month calendar came from, the 13th month of 29 and a half days. So then there were 12 moons and a fraction in 365 days. The phenom gas nervous system comes down from the cerebellum cross. This is where your cross comes in. Across the medulla oblongata branches out at the lungs and at the stomach, gastric, and is called the tree of life. 13 letters, also phenom gastric, 13 letters, right? There are 12 mineral salts in the body and blood itself, the product, 13, right? Dave's 13 sons tells you about Dave took wives and concubines in Jerusalem and begot more sons and daughters, right? 13 churches of Jacob. Jacob in Hebrew is circle or the follow after. So Jacob is the hill catcher, also represented in Hebrew symbolically by circle of man, each one with the hand holding the heel of the one in front of it, and thus describe the circle. This is our circle of 12, our zodiacs. The original of the algorithm is found in the rotation of the earth and apparently rising of one of the signs and the zodiac every 2 hours, making 12, and the earth itself 13, right? This is where our 24 comes in at, right? The zodiac signs itself makes up the 12, and then the product of that 12 is earth, which is 13, right? So the product of these spiritual constellations is the 12, and then earth makes up the 13th. The same as, so when it say, God gave his only begotten son, all of that stuff, this is the same thing. The 12 makes up earth. The baker makes 12 but gives you a mystery 13 as a dozen. The product that it produced is always the 13th. Our children that comes after us is the product of us coming full circle. When we come in full circle, we're supposed to come in full circle of a level of understanding of growth, which they deem to be like the 40-year marker. Back in the day, it was supposed to be the 32-year marker. So it's supposed to be 32 years, and then you bring forth that product. So you're supposed to hold the seed in and cook it. That's why he was from Nazareth, because he was cooking, he was producing, right? Or preparing, right? So Jesus of Nazareth was prepared. So he held the seed. He didn't just spill it, at his 21st birthday. He didn't just get drunk and let spirits enter his body and go fornicate, right? He held the seed in. And then at the 32-year marker is when he produce the seed to a suitable mate. Or the 40-year marker is when you find a suitable mate to produce the seed. But this is why animals have mating seasons, is to hold the seed in, to strengthen it. But that's a story for later. Moses, Joseph, Jesus, Christ, and all the characters of the scriptures are symbols of the psychophysical seed that is born in and out of the solar manger in the center body. You see what that say? Moses, all of them, Jesus, Christ, and all of the characters of the scriptures are symbols of the psychophysical seed that is born in or out of the solar manger in the center of the body, right? That's what it's telling you right there, right? 12 symbols of the circle is Hebrews, meaning complete. The product of 12 is 13. This is why, you remember Joseph said, bring forth Benjamin. Benjamin was the product of that 13. So you have the 12 tribes of Israel, and then Joseph said, bring forth Benjamin. Benjamin was considered the product of. So Jacob may be applied to the body. Rachel means you or Mary. Eve or the manger, solar plex, where Mary and Jesus was found. There is no U in the Hebrew alphabet, hence no double U. So V is the letter or double V, hence Eve or EVVE, EI Rachel. The solar plex is symboled by many names in the Bible, all females, whether they refer to a man or a woman, because it gives birth to the seed. This wondrous redeeming seed is exactly the same in male and female and plays no part in generations, but is the plain and salvation, whereas by the child born in sin may be the redeemed or saved. Thus in my kingdom, for key to Benjamin, the entire chapter. See? Remember, Joseph said, bring forth Benjamin. In my kingdom, regeneration, there is no marrying, etc. For key to Benjamin, the entire chapter, Genesis 35, should be studied carefully in the light of the new revelations. 6th verse, 35th chapter. So Jacob came to Luz, and same is Bethlehem, house of bread, and solarplex. He built there an altar, same as manger or plex womb is called the place Al Beth El. It's God's house of God, because their God was revealed, etc. 16th verse, and they rejoined from Bethlehem, and there was some distance to come to Ephraim. Bethel, see, here Rachel had to labor and gave birth Binyar and died. Binyar means child of my sorrow, but Jacob called him Benjamin, son of my right hand. 16th to 12th verse, and Rachel died and was buried in the way of Ephraim, and same EI Bethlehem, and Jacob set up a pillar upon her grave, the same as the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. The solar plex chamber or manger is the pillar. The death of Rachel, a mother assembly, means that 13 complete the number of seeds born during the 13 moon months. See chapter of the Passover. Great latitude means be given or written of parables, fables, and allegories. Genesis 35th chapter, 10th verse. And God said unto him, thy name is Jacob, the circle. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And remember, they told us that Jacob meant to laugh. My pastor told me that Jacob meant to laugh. So now when I restudy it and relook at it, I'm like, oh, so Jacob means to come full circle. It never meant to laugh. This was never talking about to laugh.
Way off.
Hmm. So yeah. So this is why I say like my studies go deep. My studies go deep. Like I ain't scratched the surface with this stuff. Like I dug to the depths of some stuff to get this knowledge and to try to bring forth. That's why, that's why they come against it so tough. That's why they all seem to be, you know, uh, never want to speak on the stuff that we learning over here, but always want to try to put me in some type of fight, argument. This goes back to the Willie Lynch serum. If you want to stop a black man from learning about the secrets of himself or his ancestors, put him in rage. So they're still using the same methods of their ancestors. That's all they're doing is trying to put somebody in rage so that way they can't, horn in on the peace and kindness and love that they actually represent. So all they aim to do is put me in rage. You see it say dormanted brain cells, right? So we gotta, find a way to open up these different brain cells, different dimensions of oneself, so on and so forth. So like I said, man, they can't stop the knowledge, they can't stop the wisdom, they can't stop the understanding. It's all right here for us. All we got to do is look past our own flesh and blood differences, look past that of what you say is a human nature. If you got the right, if you feel like you got the right to hate, then it should be no problem why you shouldn't allow me to be, within a loving aspect. Because if you got the right to hate, then I got the right to love. I got the right to love. We're not going to keep on justifying y'all hate that y'all got for people, but then sit there and fight love, right? I want to put knowledge back into this world. I don't need you older people. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I don't need you older people. I need the youth. So I don't give a fuck about how you older people feel about the knowledge coming back into the world. The youth want the knowledge back into the world. That's why it's so easy for me to build pages, because where y'all stuck in y'all ways, the youth is absorbing that shit. So when I go over to TikTok, some of these other platforms, and I start talking about it over there, they embrace that shit with open arms. You older people, y'all the ones that's stuck in y'all ways, that's doing all of this. Nah, man, that's stupid. I don't want to learn that. Learning's for dummies. I'd rather just go out there and fornicate. I don't want to learn nothing. Who wants to learn stuff? Nobody wants to learn nothing. Like y'all older and y'all setting y'all ways with that shit. This youth is yearning for something better. This youth is yearning for something better. It's yearning for an example of some people that are going to, lead by exemplary measures and show them something greater. So I'm here for that, you know. Y'all older people are fighting knowledge and blocking it, and it's some youth that's blocking it too, but it's more so the older people, because if we lead by example and stay knowledgeable, then they too will stay knowledgeable. Our offsprings will want knowledge. We didn't even want knowledge when we conceived them. We didn't even want knowledge when we had them. We was yearning for materialistic things during the seeding process, during the time of conception. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like this whole thing is like it's upside down. We live in an upside down world. We gotta stop living in this upside down world and start, living better, and just wanting to do better. Like I just want to do better. That's all. I ain't trying to stay in that negative vibration with these people. I'm just trying to do better. Okay? And everybody's not going to want to do better. So those who don't want to do better, I get it. I'm not asking you. I'm not forcing you. I'm not telling you that you have to be a part of this. But please don't discourage nobody else from wanting to be a part of this. Y'all got all of y'all fuckery out. We cleared out the Discord. We cleared out the Discord from all the low vibrational people. I'm about to start bringing some new people over to the Discord. Please try not to trauma bond. Don't bring, all of that negative. Let's move forward with this, with peace and love and light, and just be knowledgeable. Like I said, I'm going to start revamping the Discord, and a whole new group of people is going to come over there. So for the people who are still in the Discord, please try to be respectful and so on and so forth, because this is about unity. If you can't control your tongue to unify or be respectful to other people, then this is not the place for you. That's not the Discord for you. And you'll do great in whatever it is that you do, but this ain't for you. And I just want the people that's for this. I just want the people that this is for, and the people that's for it, right? I don't want the other people. Y'all got y'all got y'all bullshit. Oh shit. Y'all got y'all bullshit that y'all do. Continue y'all bullshit. I just want the like-minded people that want to move forward with, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and continue to protect people's space, and peace of mind. That's it, you know. And I will say one thing. I'm kind of glad the situation took place the way it took place, because it got a chance to show me and other people who was really in there for the bullshit and who was in there for, for the real bond. Like I noticed a couple of people just sitting around pretty much waiting. Noticed a couple people sitting around just waiting. So, this was a real good eye opener for those who are still around for it. Like I said, there's so much more knowledge and stuff that I would like to put out there. And that's what we're going to do. Apparently, they want, and they apparently now they're telling everybody that we're crashing out. So now they said that Atlas Family Collective is crashing out. So apparently now they're saying we're crashing out, but I don't know where we're crashing out at. I don't see it. I gotta take this trash out. I don't see the crash out. I don't know. Maybe they are still a month behind or something. That's got to be what it is. They got to be still like a month behind or something. They must be like 2 months ago, or looking at some videos from 2 months ago or something. I don't know. I don't know how we crashing out. Because I don't know where they're at in the story. I don't know where they're at in the story. They reporting shit. Oh, it's like they It's like they're stuck in a time lapse or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what to tell these people. I do not know what to tell them. They said we crashing out in some more shit. It's like, where? Where are we crashing out at? But apparently we crashing out. Uh-huh. Hey, love is love. Namaste. I say salutation, shalom, peace. We're going to continue to put the knowledge out there. They gotta be. They have to be in some type of shadow of the past or something. I mean, I see it, and they smiling so hard. I'm talking about they smiling like they really like did like, and I'm sitting over here playing the game and big chilling. You know what I mean? You see Seven back there playing the game with all his stuff and junk and shit, eating big snacks like. I don't see what they, you know, they over there celebrating and shit, and I'm just like, what? Why? Where this lie come from? Where that lie come from? Every time another lie come up, and we not even, you know what I'm saying, responding to it. That's the crazy thing. I think they just gonna keep on saying shit until they get a response. Like, just keep on making up lies until they get a response. Because if people come over here. When people come over here, people gonna see like, damn, he's not crashing out. Like they're not crashing out. Like, so why is they, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm good. I'm good, you know. Walking around healthy, you know. Walking around healthy, you know. I think they need to stop worried about me and worried about that overeating that they doing. Do that diet plan. Focus on that shit. Focus on that diet. Like, if you focus on that diet like you focusing on me, your ass should be back in shape in 6 months. Less than that. If you focus on that diet as much as you focus on me, you know, we sitting nice, you know, healthy as hell. Healthy. Not overweight, not nothing, you know what I'm saying? Look. Healthy, you know? Healthy as hell out here. You know what I'm saying? Sitting healthy as hell out here. You know what I'm saying? We sitting healthy than a motherfucker. Shit. You know? Healthy. Not overeating. You know, not stress eating. None of that. Healthy as hell. You know? And still doing great works for other people. We good. We run, we work out.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Sir. That's enough. So I didn't want to leave it.
Okay. I appreciate you. You gotta take a picture of it?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry again. Huh?
No, you're okay.
Yeah.
I know how it is. There's a lot of kids that, you know, pull up right there. They might take it. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great one. I scared the shit out that dude. And he tried to peek in the door. I'm standing here like, is this the front door opening up? Fucking dude standing. Look, Seven. But I don't open the door, right?
I thought it was you.
No. Look, I don't open the door when he do it, right? So I'm still letting him push the door slowly, and I'm looking around the crack of the door like this at him. As he pushed on the door slowly, I'm looking around the crack of the door like this. Then he's like, when he look up, he's like, sorry. Nah, look, you supposed to drop that shit on the step and take your picture. Who told you to twist the doorknob? You didn't knock on the door or nothing. You twist the doorknob. Mother, these damn African fucking these damn African delivery people, man, they bold as shit. That dude damn near walked in the fucking house. What the fuck?
I thought it was you.
Nah, that dude damn near walked in the house looking at me like, sorry. Yeah, sorry. What the fuck is you doing, my dude? You supposed to drop the package and take a picture and go. I didn't want to leave it out here. Somebody gonna steal. Yeah, you gonna steal it. What the hell is wrong with people, man? That dude, he really just opened the door, like, he's about to be playing the game with you, Sammy.
What is it?
What?
The package.
I don't know, some more shirts or anything like that.
Can I see?
They right there next to you.
Oh.
That dude trying to Three's company us, man. He didn't even knock on the door. Well, was coming in. He was coming in. He was like, oh, sorry. He ain't know what to do. He was about to hand me the package. Then he took it back to take the picture of it. Bro, which one do you want to do? You supposed to put that shit on the step, take the picture, and that's why I'm always around. That's why I'm always around. All right, man. Love y'all.